My name is Colin Giles, and I'm the head of the School for Animation and Visual Effects here at Vancouver Film School. And super excited to have you join us this evening for this exciting chat with our friend Jermaine Hargrove. Hey, Jermaine.
Great, great. What's up, Colin?
How's it going, man? You doing well down there?
Yeah, everything's good. Holiday. You know how it is.
Yes, thank you for taking some time out of the busy Thanksgiving week down there. So happy Thanksgiving to you and yours.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Welcome, everybody. I see quite a few people coming in and saying hello. Nice to see you, everybody. We got some people from LA. Awesome.
Wow.
All right. It's a global audience this evening. Welcome, everybody. Once again, my name is Colin, and I'm the head of the School for Animation and Visual Effects here at Vancouver Film School, joined by Jermaine Hargrove, who's the CEO of Small Town Animation Studios. And we're going to get to Small Town Animation Studios, but Jermaine's got a great story, and we want to kind of connect you to his story. So everyone, welcome. We're going to spend about an hour with Jermaine this evening. And for those of you who are used to Zoom, you might see something a little bit different, especially if you're VFS Zooming. You've got a Q&A button down here in the bottom banner, right about in the middle next to the chat. The Q&A button, please feel free to ask some questions, and you can type those in throughout the event this evening, throughout our chat as things get discussed. If you have a question, I'll come back to it and we'll bring it up with Jermaine and organize that at the end. But for now, we're going to join in here with everybody. Good to see everyone. Hope you are well. And if you were in the States, please have a happy Thanksgiving this week. Stay safe, be kind, and celebrate with your loved ones. So Jermaine, thank you for being with us today on this Tuesday evening.
Pleasure,
it was great meeting you a little while ago. We had a great chat. We were just joking. We should have recorded that. And
great call.
Actually, we've got some people from Mexico and Australia tonight.
Oh, wow.
Amazing. Awesome.
I just spoke with someone, Diabetes Australia.
Hey, there you go. Awesome. Well, Jermaine, we are definitely going to get to Small Town Animation Studios, which is a great story and a great initiative. I'm so excited about that. But your personal story about how you got into animation, how our animation students and our animation family here will connect with your story. But I love the fact that you started in fashion design.
Yes, I started in fashion, which led to, fashion and music kind of run hand in hand, and always been into fashion. But when I got into the music industry, I was just, one of those ones like everybody's doing now. I want to rap and I want to get a clothing line deal. So I was the same way, like, okay, I'm a rapper, and then sooner or later I'm going to do clothes. So, that's what's led. I've always been a designer, always been into just art and style and craft. And, I remember being in, I don't know if they have it now, probably telling my age, but I remember being in a home ec shop. It's called shop class, where you build stuff with metals and stuff. I was always trying to build a crate. I was kind of like my own mind. I was an inventor in that class. I was trying to build stuff that, how people doing now with tech. I was trying to do stuff back then, in that particular class. Like, I'm going to invent something in this class. I wasn't thinking like everybody else, which leads me to how I am now.
Amazing. So you actually went from sort of fashion design school, but you spent a long time writing and producing music. Is that right?
Yes, definitely. I spent a long time Sony Music, probably over 10, 12 years. Worked with a bunch of celebrities. I don't want to name drop right now, but definitely a bunch of celebrities, and been around a bunch of celebrities. I will say Mariah Carey. I've been around Beyonce, Mariah Carey, Tupac, Snoop, Suge Knight, just to name a few. DJ Khaled and Akon. A lot of these people, I seen their growth. I seen them when they didn't have big deals and a lot of money, how they got now. So I remember them days when they were just starting off. And I used to kind of look at myself like, wow, look at where they are now. I remember them and look at where I'm at. I was kind of like, not jealous, but like, okay, there's a possibility in the field that I want to be in. I wasn't trying to be, like that then. But, just being big in the industry that they're in. I want to be big in the industry I'm in now. So, but I remember those days in the music business.
Is there something about working with those kind of people, even back then, did you notice that there was a drive, there was a passion, there was a creative energy that made them stand out from other people?
Yeah, well, me and Akon per se, like I remember Akon before he even got big and hit records and all of that. I remember I was at a video shoot with a bunch of people in the music business, a bunch of famous people, and I was standing outside the trailer of the video shoot, and he was out there. He wasn't Akon that everybody know now, but he was just like, yo, I want to meet such and such. Uh, is it cool? I said, yeah, come on. I didn't know him from a can of paint, but he had this thing about him. He didn't pose a threat. He didn't seem like he was up to nothing. He just seemed like he was just somebody that wanted to just, hey, I'm such and such. He wasn't Akon then. So I say I brought him in the trailer and he met the celebrity and we've been cool ever since. I haven't seen him in a while, but and then when I was kind of getting out there more and more, I seen him in Detroit. It's funny because he was with Eminem and them, and I was with the people I was with. And I went to his dressing room when he was just so happy to see me. So it's just something about certain people, even DJ Khaled. I remember him on the rise and his drive and his passion and to see where he at now, it just make me move more. Just the way I move and the way I think and the way I want my drive, it just makes me like, okay, I'm gonna get to that point because I've been around all these people that the world know and see as celebrity. Okay, I'm gonna be that. But my thing is, I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to be the music. I'd rather be like, okay, Walt Disney or Steve Jobs, those kind of people. And I don't say that lightly. I don't, I respect those people, Stan Lee. I don't say it lightly, but I just know that, I have that same drive and passion, creativity that those guys have.
Absolutely. Where do you think that comes from, Jermaine? Is that something in your childhood, from your family and community, that inspired that sort of creative drive for you?
Yeah, I think it's, more so of a gift because, the way I grew up and, and it falls in line with what we talking tonight about, the underserved communities and stuff like that. Yeah, like you got to have options. You like Biggie said, you either gonna have a wicked jump shot or you gonna sling crack rock. So you got to think outside of those things. Like I just can't be the norm. I just
Right.
something got to give, and I was into baseball. They used to compare me to Dow Strawberry. I'm telling my age. They used to be like, wow, he's like Dow Strawberry. But I threw my arm out, and that was like one of the worst days of my life back then. I was like, wow, what am I gonna do now? Like that's what really pushed me. Like, okay, I'm gonna do something else. But I threw my arm out. I cried like a baby, and I just didn't know what I was gonna do. I was trying to figure it out.
Do you think that for you having those and they weren't perceived, these are real obstacles for you, like where you grew up, just the nature of how the world, well, still is to this day.
Yes.
Did that give you extra kind of like, hey, you know what, I need to do twice as much, twice as hard, twice as fast, twice as big? Is that something that's kind of
Yes.
instilled in you?
Yes, it's still instilled into me to this day. I look at what's going on in this world, the surroundings, and watching the news, and I'm like, it gotta be. I gotta drive to make it. I got a passion, and I tell my wife, I tell her all the time. I say, you know what? I got that same drive and passion, and I keep mentioning Steve Jobs and because, they so that's the only people that I really say, okay, those were my mentors without knowing them. Like I look
Mhm.
at them, I look at the Walt Disney's, I looked at George Lucas and Star Wars, and we get to that later too. But those ones that I was just like, wow, so creative. How do I get to that point? How I get people to understand me, and I think like that today, to understand me like they understood them. Like who when you making the robots back then like R2D2 and all of those different droids, and then you look at them like, what's that? But now they just like so people just like, oh, R2D2. But back then it's just like, really? That's a robot? Like, you know, how do I get people to understand me like they understood them, to give them budgets and to say, hey, I'm gonna make a movie called Star Wars. It's gonna have droid. What's a droid? You know what I'm saying? Just asking these questions back then, but he still had that passion. Like, I don't care if nobody don't understand me. I'm gonna do it. And he did it. And now look at what the Star Wars brand at nowadays. So that's my passion, looking at those guys.
And that comes from a 100% belief in yourself, which is not an easy thing to do
Yeah.
all the time.
Nah, I always believe in myself. People even now say I'm just like conceited and I'm just arrogant. But I'm not arrogant, I'm confident.
Yeah.
I'm more so, I would tell people that any day I go in a room, I don't care if it's 5, 10 billionaires in the room, oh, you're gonna think I'm one of them. I don't care if I got $100 in my account, but when I get in that room with the elite, oh, I'm gonna carry myself. You're gonna think, hey, he must be one of them. So yeah, I don't doubt myself at all.
That's an important quality, I think, too, to push away the noise of the money or the
Yes,
privilege or whatever, and just get it down to a human connection, right?
yes, yes, definitely. You know, you gotta think outside of what if someone's going through something and you shouldn't automatically say, hey, I'm gonna go through the same thing. Maybe that person did what they wasn't supposed to do, made wrong decisions, and you just got to be instilled with what you want to do in life and how the pursuit that you want to go, because your road may be different from another person's road, and then you can't be persuaded and say, "Hey, it didn't work out for that person. I'm not going to do it." So
Absolutely, absolutely. So let's, you. This is we'll get to small town animation studios, like I
yes,
said, but
yes,
I'm also interested in this transition and this
yes.
entrepreneurial spirit that you have, because this is not the first
Okay.
company you've started or founded.
No, I had other fashion companies. I had Thuggish USA, and I was working with my partner Randy King with the group, and that's how I really got my start in fashion with the group. I was working with a company, and I think it was in the Philippines, and it was a movie called RPG Metanoia. You guys could Google that and pull it up. It's a 3D animation movie. I contacted them because I was just so passionate about animation, and I just wanted to be working with somebody. I'm just on the line looking. I'm like, okay, here's somebody. So I spoke with them, and they said, hey, you called us at the right time. You emailed us at the right time because we want to bring this movie to the States, but we don't have any opportunities, or we don't know any celebrities that do voiceovers. I say, hey, guess what? I do. I make it happen. And so they sent me a full movie in Blu-ray, not even knowing me, not even knowing if I was gonna bootleg it, or they just sent it to me. That's how they nice over there too. I don't want to say desperation, but they were just like, hey, we want to break in the state. So what I did was I looked at the movie. I said, wow, this is a great movie. It's called RPG Metanoia. It's about esports. Take that back when esports wasn't kind of just starting out, but I don't think the name was really out there yet. It's a bunch of computer gaming, a bunch of kids. And I said, I watched that movie. I said, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put together an all-star cast. I'm gonna use my connect from the music business, and I'm gonna put together an all-star cast. So guess who I called? I called Katherine Jackson, Michael Jackson mom, but through her lawyer. I said, you know what? I want to get Michael Jackson kids in this. This would make me famous and possibly rich. And that company over there be happy. I might be CEO of it or something, president or something, the USA department. But I contacted a lawyer. This is about being persistent too, because once again, I was confident. I said, I'm going to get to somebody that knows Catherine. So at first I talked to a gentleman. He knew Michael. He was real cool with Michael Jackson before Michael passed. And I looked him up. He was doing something with the foundation to heal the world or something. And he wasn't the go-to guy. He wanted a part of it. So he said, well, if I make this happen, I want X, Y, and Z. I said, have a nice day. So once again, I started looking, and I said, okay, here's Katherine Jackson's lawyer, attorney. So I said, I know he ain't gonna turn me away. Attorneys, you know how they are. They want
Yeah.
money. He hit me back immediately, like, what? A film? What? Blanket in Paris? And you want the kids? Yes. Send me more information. So I sent him the information, and he made it happen. They said, can you guys fly out to Los Angeles to meet with Catherine? I said, sure. So me and my partner went out there, and we stayed at the hotel. And, we booked a room at the bottom, one of the suites at the bottom of the one of the suites at the hotel. It's like a boardroom or something. And we had the projector and everything set up for them to watch the trailer. And in walks Kathy. And I said, "Wow, I'm on some groupie stuff like, wow, this Catherine Jackson, like, I done been around so many celebrities, but it's different when I'm like, okay, this the king of pop mom. And
Yeah.
so she embraced us. She was like, "Hey, how you doing?" She was like, "Your name is Jermaine." I said, "Yeah." I said, "My partner, his name is Randy." She was like, "What? Jermaine and Randy?" That's those her kids' names. And she
That's
laughed,
right.
and she embraced us, and she's really nice, man. She was really nice. She was so nice, in the midst of all that. The lawyer was talking. He was like, "Yeah, she's gonna do it. She's gonna do it." I said, "Okay. You think she'd take a picture with me?" He was like, "Nah, I wouldn't ask her right now." I said, "Man, I played myself." I looked at it and I said, "Wow, I should have said that." But I didn't tell her. I was just talking to the lawyer. But she watched the trailer and she was like, "Yeah, the kids will love something like this." And it just never happened because there was just so much red. Could you imagine
Mm.
all the legal stuff with Michael Jackson kids? I thought I could make it happen, but once that lawyer got involved and all this paperwork and all of this money, and was like, okay, that never happened. So, that was the start of my animation, as far as in the animation business. Sorry if I was long story, but I definitely wanted to tell that.
Yeah, that's it. Well, I mean, and that's like, I mean, talking about just your journey as an
Yes,
entrepreneur. I mean, you're gonna hit walls, you're gonna get in
yes,
places, but it's always a learning process, right? Like you're gonna take a
yes,
learning opportunity from that, uh,
yes,
and keep growing from it, right?
yes. And that was an experience too because, at that moment I learned about pitching. We all in the animation, we all in the animation business now. We live and we learn. And like I said, I didn't ask her, bro. I just felt like at that moment I was like, wow, I shouldn't have said that. I just got caught up in the moment. But
Yeah, yeah.
the lawyer, no. I mean, that's Michael Jackson, mom. Like, I don't care if it was, Little Richard. I did meet Little Richard too. I don't know why I say him, but anybody, just like history. That's history. So I don't know if that was gonna be my last time seeing her. I said, look, I want to show my mom. I got a picture with Captain Jackson, but it just never happened. You know.
Totally. So where does your that obviously wasn't necessarily the genesis of your love for animation. Where does the love
Yeah.
for the actual art form of animation come from for you?
The love comes from just I don't want to use the cliche answer of, hey, I love comic books as a kid. I did. I love comic books as a kid. I love baseball cards and all of that stuff. But it was just something about being creative. That's where the fashion stuff. I'm just a creative mind. I'm a creative thinker. I think outside the box. I'm like a unique kind of individual. I look at things different. What you may see outside looking at the sky, I may see something different. I may say, hey, you don't see that? Oh, look at that point that the cloud making. It looks like an arrow. I don't see it, but you know what I'm saying? I'm just a creative mind. It's a gift. It really is a gift. Like how Steve Jobs used to say. He said, people used to always ask me what I do. He said, I conduct. I said, wow, I agree with that because if I can't do it, I could be telling you what to do. Waving my little thing and saying, hey, do this, do that. Hey, drums, horns, do it. You know, so that's what. And if I can't draw something the way I see it, I'll have somebody do it. But it's still my idea. So it's just me being a creative thinker and just thinking outside the box.
Absolutely. Oh, I mean, that's the Walt Disney philosophy, right? I mean, he didn't make a lot of that stuff.
Exactly.
He was the pollinator. He was the bee going from these creative
Exactly.
flowers and connecting them all together. And you need somebody like
Yep.
that. You need somebody who can drive the ship.
Yep. And I didn't go to animation school, but I always was able to draw to the point where you know what it is. You might say, oh, that don't look right. Oh, you try to draw a car. Oh, you know what it is, but it might not look right. But I was able to go from one point. Now you draw it better. You know what this is. You draw it better, but I'm definitely better at drawing. But I'm more so of I know what I want. If I know I can't draw an elephant, hey, I'm gonna hire somebody to draw an elephant. So I don't. I just know what I want basically.
Yeah, yeah. So let's go to, a few years ago when you're
Yes,
the genesis of the idea of small town animation studios.
yes,
This is obviously a
yes,
major initiative for you. You've got a lot of
yes,
amazing people involved in this. You got some big
yes,
ideas. Where did the small idea come from? Where was the authorship and the birth of Small Town Animation Studios? Where was your mind at thinking about this?
My mind was after I was diagnosed with diabetes. Because even after the Catherine thing, I didn't really think like, hey, I'm gonna start a company. But it more so when I was in ICU for 5 days and almost died with glucose levels at 1100. Hey, you got a lot to think about those days, and I couldn't hardly sleep. And it just hit me like, okay, I'm gonna start a company. When I leave here, I'm gonna start a company. So yeah, I just started a company, but even then it didn't happen. I don't want to make it seem like it was like an overnight kind of success thing. Like it's steps to this. Hey, I got an idea. Hey, I'm gonna sit with this idea for 4 or 5 months. It's still an idea, but to make it come to fruition and to make it come forth, with steps. I was diagnosed with diabetes, and I had to make that transition to a lifestyle change. And I was just like feeling so bad. That's a whole nother discussion with diabetes, but you know, I was just feeling so bad. But while me feeling bad, I was thinking, like, wow, I'm thinking about not just myself, but I'm thinking about other people, other parents' children. Like, I know I can't be the only one feeling like this and diagnosed with diabetes and don't know nothing about it and can't figure it out. And I know I'm not the only one. So that's how Gumshee was created. And I didn't want to use myself either because, like I say, I love the superheroes and all of that, but I think it was just too many male superheroes at the time. I was like, I don't want to do another male superhero. I want to do a girl. Why do I want to do a girl superhero? Because there's something about girls when they get sick. When a boy gets sick, it's like, okay, not really, don't care. But when a girl gets sick, it's like, oh my God, Sally's sick, Tasha's sick, So I wanted that to be like in the forefront, like, okay, this girl was diagnosed with diabetes and she almost died. Because Gumshee's really my story, to a certain point. It's really my life. So Gumshee, I had it. So she almost died. She's in ICU for 5 days. She's trying to figure it out. So the general public have more of a sincere heart. Like, okay, we have to do something. Imagine millions of girls. I'm not taking away from the boys now. I'm not taking away from the guys. But when you go and go watch television, when you see a St. Jude's commercial, and you see mostly 70% girls, it's just something about when a girl is sick. And then I'm sure whoever put that commercial together, marketed inside and everything, they say, hey, let's use girls. And when it's people overseas and they need donation, let's put a girl in the front. So that's my whole outlook. Like I wanted a girl to have diabetes and trying to figure out, come from a single parent household, and just what girls go through is more sensitive when girls have issues than boys. So that's how Gumshoe was created. That was the really start of small town. Uh, Afterwards, but Gumshoe first, and just me wanting to have my own thing. With Gumshoe, when I developed Gumshoe, I had another brand called Fancy Feline. It's Fancy Feline. It was a bunch of cats in the world. It's a bunch of cats, but the world is set up like the movie Grease, where you got the pink ladies, and it's like a
Yeah.
musical. So I don't know why I thought about that in the hospital. I was just thinking. Once again, my mom was just racing. I'm like, where in the world this come from? Cats. And it's called Fancy Feline. So, I was just so many different brands came upon me when I was in the hospital sick. But that's how the whole company thing was like, okay, yeah, eventually I'm gonna have to start my company because I can't be giving these ideas to Hollywood and praying that they get greenlit. And when I say praying, I'm just like, what's the chances? It's like if they turning down. I'm looking at a lot of behind the scenes stuff in Hollywood. They turning down the Matrix and all these big movies. I'm like, what? I'm gonna sit in the boardroom and say, I got an idea called Fancy Feline. They're gonna be like, what? Oh, I got an idea. What's the name? And it wasn't Gumshoe then. It was called Gumball Girl. So Hollywood looks at these kind of situations different than the creator. And then we go walk away with our head down like, wow, I never get a deal in this town.
So the the actual trailer for Gumshee launched on just last week. Is that correct? November 14th, I believe it was on World Diabetes Day.
Well, that's the teaser for now. We're doing an official trailer because we added our partners' products into the new trailer, so it could be official trailer. Then all our partners will have that look for when it goes globally, and we can market them in the actual trailer and also the movie. But yeah, that's just a teaser trailer. That's just to say, hey, you know, we're coming. This is us. We're Gumshoe. This was behind. I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but yeah, that's just to let the general public know, and more so the animation studio. Hey, we're coming. We coming with force too because we're not asking to be greenlit. We're the ones green light. We green lighting ourselves. I'm not coming. And make no mistake, I'm not knocking that. Sometimes it takes that for people to get their ideas and everything. But that's not us. That's when I say I'm speaking for my whole team, my whole staff. We're not knocking on the doors saying, hey, let us in. We got this and we got that. No, we're gonna be in the lobby with signs, Gumshee is coming. The Sunday schoolers is coming. They picking it, they right. No, we're not writing. We just let y'all know who we are. We're coming. And we guess what? We got a whole plethora of people behind us. They say they coming. Okay, come on, we all coming. And this is not on no violent stuff, but just to say we got to change the way of Hollywood thinking, not greenlighting something because somebody might be having a bad day. Somebody might just be going through a divorce, and the person in the acquisition, I don't want to be bothered that day. So a good idea just get thrown to the pile of stuff. Great ideas. So that's what Gumshee is in small town. We're those ones saying, hey, this is what we are. We're coming.
That's amazing. Yeah, I love that. You just never, you don't want it to be a crapshoot. You've got an idea that's close to you, and someone just, because it's a Wednesday and they're late for lunch, they just don't want to see it, right? And it's like, man, that's a lot of power to hold one person's
it is.
hands, right? So
yeah, and you know how people they'd be like, well, I heard it all. What story you got? Hey, I heard it all before. You got to come with something. Hey, I'm coming with this. Oh, I don't like that. But you just said you heard it. It's just like you can't win for losing with these people. You come with these original ideas just because they don't get it, but it's a general public may love it, but they don't even give it a chance.
Right. Yeah. The idea of ownership of your own ideas is a big thing that we want our students to embrace nowadays too. It's not all just about working for Marvel and working for Disney and working for these companies.
Yes.
It's you gotta break out of that group of people that kind of control it. And so with animation TV, which is sort of a development out of small town animation studios.
Yes.
What's your vision with this? Because we've talked about this. This is a big deal.
Yes. Now, animation TV is another branch off the small town tree. So animation TV is what we're doing is, we're fighting for the creators. That's in a nutshell. That's what we're doing. We're fighting for the creators, the underserved. We're pushing diversity. So we're stepping out saying, hey, bring your content to us, and what we're going to do with it, we're going to try to get you, get revenue from it. I don't care how old it is. It's going to be new to the general public. We're going to get revenue from it, and also your content is actually going to help scholarships for someone else. So you and all of your hard work making animation, whether it's a film short, or fully film, and you just ain't got nothing else to do, like you ain't got no other options. It's like, hey, okay, we're the option for you. We're gonna bring it back to life. We're gonna pump life back into it and broadcast it. And not just that, your content is also gonna help someone else get through animation school. So we're giving out scholarships. We're helping the underserved community, and even with Gumshee, a portion of Gumshee, the proceeds is gonna go towards insulin assistance. So this goes back to even if the animators is one thing, but what if the animators can't afford insurance or health products, or they just going through? What if they parents? What if the parent is going through with diabetes or any kind of health thing, and how are they supposed to concentrate on animation school or just being creative when they don't know how they're going to even get by? So that's what animation TV is about. Animation TV is, and I'm not being arrogant because people tend to say I'm arrogant. Animation TV is we are animation culture. When I say we are animation culture, you know, you can do the research yourself. You can look at these different platforms. Nobody's showing, animation podcasts, animation shorts, animation full length films, animation behind the scenes, animation a day in the life of an animator. Just all rolled up in one. Nobody's doing that. Why? Why they not doing that? Because you got these billion-dollar brands like Frozen and Into the Spider-Verse and all these. Who are the people that made these things? Why can't we know who they are? Why can't we meet those kind of people? Just I want to ask some questions. I want to talk to somebody from Marvel to say, hey, it's not about you trying to greenlight one of my projects. I want to know how. I want to speak with you to know how can I do better with my company. It's not, they tend to say, hey, we want handouts. We don't got no funding. You email them, you try to, oh, we ain't got no funding. Hey, how about this? I don't want your money. I want your wisdom and knowledge. I want to know how can I make my brand $1 billion brand? What do I don't supposed to do? So that's what animation TV is about. Is getting to the massive, we're the underdogs. We're rooting for the underdogs. It's not about the DreamWorks. I love them. The Marvels, I love them. Sony's animations and Disney Pixar, I love all of them. I'm fans of them. But those the ones that, it's far fetched. I talked to somebody from SCAD. I talked to somebody from SCAD. They say, you know what, Jermaine? One out of every 7 or 8 years, one person may go to Disney. Wow. I said, really? You said, yeah. This one person out of 7 or 8 years, meaning student, worker, animator, storyboarder, whatever, they may go to Disney. One out of the whole massive of students rotating, going in and out, graduating. So could you imagine the feeling of, hey, I'm a loser. Hey, I don't spend my parents to spend all this money. Hey, I'm gonna never get a job. Could you imagine the thoughts of these creators? That's blocking their creativity. You could imagine what they're going for. I spent all this money on animation school. I done did all of this, but I done made a thesis. The thesis is 5 years old. I don't know what else to do with it. So that's what animation TV is about. Hey, give it to us, not give it to us, because we don't want to own it. We want to use what we use, and we want to use your content to get it to the massive and make you money. And also, we want to put people through schools from your hard work.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, it's like you see this as a launching pad for not even just individuals, but communities of people who have been
Yes,
completely overlooked, underserved,
yes,
and in some cases, purposely kind of moved to the side for other
yes.
people's interests.
Yes, because it's all about who you know. I spoke with a Hollywood executive yesterday. Very great guy, nice guy. I don't even want to mention his name, but he said, Jermaine, he said, I will tell you this. He said, I love what you're doing, but he said, I will tell you this. You created something that Hollywood been trying to figure out for years. I said, thank you, sir. I said, thank you. He said, you know what you're doing and with animation that's already being overlooked. People tend to say Frozen and all these big brands, animation is not overlooked because you say, hey, Frozen, $1 billion. And yes, animation is overlooked. So he said to me, you figured out something to get people to care more about animation. That's one. And also to get people to look at animation as something that can be like, hey, this could be a lifestyle. The same thing as gaming and esports. Like, I'm more so like, hey, we're gonna make animation TV like the MTV of animation. We want it to be cool. I want to go somewhere and say somebody got an animation TV shirt on because they're animator or they're storyboarder. They're like, hey, I don't care if you know. This is cool. But back when I was coming up, it was like, hey, you a nerd. None of the girls don't want to deal with the geeks and nerds, but guess who's marrying, the nerds, the beautiful women. They marrying the geeks and the nerds because guess what? Mark Zuckerberg and the guy from Amazon and Tesla, all these ones that was nerds back in school, they was picked on. So we want to make it cool. Like, yeah, I'm an animator. Yeah, I love animation. Yeah. And so what? My courage is built up. I could to speak to a beautiful girl and tell her, hey, I'm an animator. And not like, hey, I'm doing this. I'm a CEO of a Fortune 5. No, I'm an animator. So we want to we want to bring comfortability to animation, diversity, and not just be looked at like it's just one race one group of people, male over female. We just want everybody to feel comfortable about animation and also feel comfortable about their content. And it's not over once you do your thesis or you do your film short or whatever you do, and it's 3 years old and you're just trying to figure it out. No, it's not over.
Yeah, you can be that connective force between all those voices that are out there. It's
Yes.
at school we have this philosophy of to come to school to find your voice, which means someone has to be listening. So I'm imagining your philosophy around animation TV is to find the biggest audience possible. So what's your plan? What's your vision for how to grow animation TV?
The plan and the vision is just to be ourselves. When I say that, I say, we really believe in being unique. Like I have these calls, like the one I mentioned yesterday, and they say, hey, why? Normally we do things are done like this. I said, well, guess what? I'm not a normal person. And I tell them that, and not disrespectfully, but you have to tell these people that because they're so used to doing the same old thing. You could go to these big companies, these big film companies, and I guarantee you, most of the acquisition people's look alike. When I say look alike, they probably around the same age. They probably got the same lifestyle. You very rarely find someone that's cool. I went to Warner Brothers one time, and the guy, he was cool, but when we got upstairs to the boardroom, I'm like, it's like a old folks home in here. Like all these what do they know about superheroes? You know what I'm saying? I'm not being disrespectful now. I'm not being disrespectful. I'm just saying what it is. When you go up the ladder in these offices and you might, hey, there's a young person. The young person is the person who work at the front desk. Okay, I'm thinking this is the person coming downstairs and say, hey, we're going to go there. Oh, no, this is the person bringing you to the meeting where it's a bunch of old people that don't really know what's going on in society, doesn't know what's really going on in high school. They don't know what's cool. They don't know what's into that. The people that's sleeping outside of GameStop, they're not sleeping outside because things gonna be sold out. They're sleeping outside because they want to be the first person to have something because it's cool. So they don't know that. They just why do people outside of GameStop? What are they doing? Okay, they want to be cool. So they want to be the first person to have whatever it is they're waiting outside for. They want to be the first to have it. So yeah, I'm not disrespecting those people, but things just have to change with the outlook of animation, the outlook of people we have to beg for funding. Why we have to beg for funding? Why we have to give people a chance? That's our motto. Before I got on here, a few of the students contacted me, and somebody contacted me and they tried to pitch something, and I said, wow, I immediately thought about how people say about pitches, and I said, well, email info@animationstudios, .com or whatever, and somebody will get back with you. And I meant that. I didn't mean that to blow the person off and you never hear from them again. Critique it, give them some criticism and say, hey, I like it, but it's not for us. Or I don't like. Or maybe you might want to, just don't break their spirit of I'm a loser. I ain't gonna never be nobody unless somebody brings me to up the ladder. So that's what we're trying to break with animation TV. We want to give people a chance. Our goal is to, right now we're forming a global distribution pipeline, global, different countries. We want, God willing, we want everybody everybody's not going to come to us. Let me change that. But we want the majority of the animation community that can't get to the Netflixes and those type of platforms to come to us. Not only because, hey, we're going to give you a fair share of the revenue, but your content is actually going to put somebody through animation school. Your hard work, so you can call yourself a philanthropist. Hey, I'm using my content. I'm using my content, and it's going to help somebody else. That should be a great feeling, like of not being selfish. Like, yeah, let me bring it over to animation TV. So they could do something with it, and also I'm gonna earn some money, and also I'll be happy to use my content for underserved students that may want to go to school and put them through school as well.
Right. Yeah. And just about getting access, right? About giving people, breaking down those walls so that they can have access to community, to people, to a network.
Yes.
They want to have that sense of belonging.
Yes, and business. We need to know as an animation community. We as a small company, we just been through so much, and I could say this because we need to really know business because these people in these buildings, they is not playing. You mess around, you think you go in there to get something green light before you know it, your soul is gone. You like, where my soul at? Where's that? I don't sold it. It didn't even know it. So you can't just be so. We're not really all about the big names here. That doesn't impress us, the Netflixes and all that. I'm not saying it in a disrespectful way, but I'm just saying those are when they say the Wizard of Oz, we often see the wizard. We all going down the yellow brick road, but somebody might be going down a pink one, a red one that's leading to something better. That yellow one may be, hey, there's trouble down that road. So we going down our own road, and if we just so happen to cross paths with some cool people, cool business, and we do business. But other than that, we're really not just on some. Hey, we just got to go after the big names because the big names is really not designed for people to first to earn good money for their work and also to be relevant because a lot of this content that they want. We was the same way. Small Town Animation. I'm not gonna lie to you. We was the same way. Like we're gonna make our stuff and we're gonna get on Netflix. But as we start to talk to people and as people say, hey, we want to own your content. Hey, we want to own the IP. Hey, we want to do 7-year deals and you can't do nothing with nobody else. I'm like, are you serious? Like what era are we living in? You got people, so many independent companies. You got Tyler Perry. Like what era? That, that take enough guts even to even come at somebody like that in these days of time. 2021. I come from the music business, and so many of those, the Temptations just got their money from royalties a few years back. Just got it. So for somebody that even had the audacity to say, I'm going to offer you this type of contract, that take a lot of guts in this time. But you know what? Some people would take it. So, some people would take it, but, I just advise people to not just be so eager, to get on these platforms and try to get your content to these platforms. And before you know it, you don't even own it no more. I just had to get somebody to my right recently.
Right.
I said, don't be so quick. Don't be so quick to I want to go to Netflix. Okay. Tell me how it worked out.
So what other productions are you pursuing here through Small Animation or Small Town Animation Studios? I know you've got Gumshee and you've got a number of other things in development. Maybe talk to us about your pipeline of development and your sort of philosophy towards developing new shows and new films.
Yes. We got right now this month. You can go to the website for all the distributors. We definitely own everything. We had to push our channel back. Our linear channel is going to definitely launch sometime January, early February 2022. It will be a press conference, a press release for that. But we have the Sunday Schoolers Christmas in Heaven. That's our movie. You can go to sundayschoolers.net. It's a Christmas movie. That's one thing that we just finalized, finishing it up. We just scoring it now with the soundtrack. Gumshee, of course. Gumshee. We definitely that's our Iron Man. Just being honest. Gumshee is like, hey, we're gonna be another Marvel. I don't want to say the next Marvel because I don't know what kind of business they do, but we're gonna be sort of like a Marvel per se. And Gumshee is the first, superhero out the gate, but it's also 7 others behind her, and it's gonna be our version of Gumshee is the Protectors, which is the next movie after Gumshee. Then after the Protectors is the Gumshee sequel, and then it's the spin-offs of all of those superheroes that was in those 3 films. They're gonna get their own superhero movie, same way that Marvel does it. So be on the lookout for Gumshee. You can go more information on that on Gumshee.com, and also we're doing a Gumshee 2D series. That'd be 10 episode, 20-minute episodes, 2D. And we want to keep that diabetes message out there. That's one of the reasons why, because when that group of people fall in love with Gumshee, like, wow, Gumshee is like the face of diabetes, and also the give back stuff. We want to keep that going. So in the midst of those making the transition from the movie, we want to have the 2D series. And then when the 2D series, just like Trolls, how Trolls got 2D, they got the Trolls movie, they got 2D on Hulu. 2D on Netflix, but they still have those Trolls movies. So that's what we're doing with Gumshee. And we have other some more stuff in the pipeline, but we, I don't want to mention. No, I want people to focus on Gumshoe and animation TV, and we'll definitely be listing a few things that we're working on our website.
That's fantastic. The Gumshee cinematic universe is coming to a TV, to a
Oh, I'm glad you
device
said
near
that
you.
because yeah, that's what it is. We're building our own universe, and it's going to be so many things to spin off from that. We're doing some NFT stuff too. We're just doing a lot of stuff, but a lot of things that people of our caliber, meaning startup, say, hey, you guys can't do this, you can't do that. Yeah, we're doing it. You're definitely gonna hear about us even more.
That's amazing. That's awesome. Well, I mean, there's a lot of students here right now. If anyone has any questions, you can drop that into the Q&A. I think we've got about 10 more minutes here.
Okay.
But Jermaine, I wanted to give you an opportunity to speak sort of directly to students that might be here, young
Okay.
artists. We have a lot of, people, we're a global school. We got people from
Yes.
many different backgrounds, many, different cultures. We have many different languages being spoken, beautiful new ways of telling stories and
Yes.
personal stories of cultures that I'm just so honored to be exposed to because
Yes.
it fills me up too. So maybe Jermaine, you can kind of give some advice to people who are just starting out, who are
Yes.
not coming from a privileged background, who are
Yes.
having to jump through hoops. Maybe they've had to like convince their parents and their families 100
Yes.
times to be able to come to animation school. What would you advise them in this, coming into 2022? The world's been changing. What do you see for them?
Yeah, my advice, my number one advice is don't give up. Don't let nobody tell you that you can't do anything. Not just even animation, just as a human being. Don't let nobody break your spirits. If you have a passion for animation, just don't give up. I know some of the resources, they kind of in certain communities, in certain situations, and households, the student may like, I don't know what to do, So I just advise try to use, different resources, different tooling, try to start somewhere. Definitely start at social media, because now I'm seeing so many crappy looking pictures. I'm like, how is this NFT worth $20,000 when it's just a picture with something in the line going? So, and I say that to say, don't think that you're less than what other people are doing. Continue your skill. Try to, you definitely gotta be more on your craft. You gotta. It's gonna take some late hours and late nights. I tell you that. I'm not gonna water it down. If you want to be good at anything, you got to put your 10,000 hours in plus. It's gonna be might be some tears. You're gonna cry some. I cry. Sometimes I still cry. You know, but that could be good because that could be fuel to say, you know what, I'm not gonna give up, even though I cried or things may happen that's not in your favor. It's still that's where the it's more so the outlook gonna come like, yeah, remember when I was going through this and this happened? Yeah, everybody got their story. People slept in cars, homelessness, and now you got multimillionaires and successful people in Hollywood. Just keep going, but just try to use most of your resources. Try to find out. Just do some research. The main thing when you are not having, when you're lacking for something, do your research. But somebody's always giving something away, and that's what made us do our thing too, for us the give back portion. We want to be that person to say, "Hey, you guys got any funding for this or that?" Like we want to give back, and we're the only ones. There's so many different organizations. Someone just told me about how they give an animated free drawing pads. I don't know the name of them, but you can email me. I'll find out that information. The drawing pads for animated, they're giving them out. And if I haven't talked to an individual that's partnering with us too, I wouldn't have knew about that. But see, it's all about who you know and networking and researching. So just try to do your research and just keep going. You know, that's the best advice. Keep going.
Getting to know people, right? It's just
yeah, definitely networking.
Yep. We got a question here from from anonymous, so I'm assuming that's a human being. What about the studio itself? Do you hire people internally?
Yes.
Do you hire freelancers? what are you
Yeah.
looking for right now in the next little while in terms of production?
Yeah, we definitely looking for riggers, texturers. We looking to build our staff. We looking to increase our staff because, as I mentioned, all the titles I just mentioned that we're going to be putting out, we want to give those people the jobs to people that wouldn't normally get them. You know, we wanted to say, hey, you wanted to go to Disney. Disney's not going to hire you. Hey, come with us. We'll make you feel like you're at Disney, but we treat you right. We treat you like family, and we got some cool things going on over here. So that's our hiring process. We definitely looking for animators, storyboarders, all riggers, texturers, modelers, definitely modelers, but 2D and 3D. So don't be afraid to contact us and say, hey, can you check out my resume? Hey, I'm looking for work. Because you never know, we might say, hey, today is your lucky day. You're hired. So, but yeah, I'm only joking. But yeah, we are looking for people to work with.
That's great. And you really are in a small town. Like you guys are just outside Savannah, Georgia, correct?
Yeah. Yes, we are outside of Savannah. We're gonna relocate to Savannah, move our offices. But yeah, that's what small town coming at. We are in a small town, and yeah, small town animation. But we just doing big things. People look at us like, why is it small town? I don't understand why it's small town. Because we're in a small town. You see how people just try to make you feel like, okay, that you shouldn't have the title you have. Why is it called small town? Because we're in a small town. It's nothing, it's nothing I could try to make up. We're in a small town. So yeah.
Small town. Yeah, tell it like it is.
Just in a small town. Exactly.
Yeah. Small town, big ideas. I love it. So when can what's the plan with Gumshee? So Gumshee, there's a trailer coming out next year. When do we expect Gumshee to arrive on the global audience?
So we trying to put out Gumshee June 5th of 2022. That's the tentative date. But we have partners. So they have manufacturing issues, and so we're trying to put it out. We're trying to align it with our partners so they can have product out when the film come out. So, but it should probably be, if it's not June 5th, it's gonna be late summer, but definitely 2022, sometime this summer, late summer. So right now we just, we're trying to get, and I'm gonna put this in the air. We're trying to get Patti LaBelle to play Gumshee Moms. I'm gonna put it in the air. Maybe we might get a call from her in the morning and say, I would love to. So we tried to get her to do the voiceover. Just different type 1 people. Our goal is to do a whole diabetic cast. Brett Michaels for the doctor, Ghostface Killer, all these type 1 people, Anthony Anderson. So that's what we're kind of working on now. We're just trying to put together an all-star team or all-star cast. So when you see it, you're like, wow, this is a diabetes movie, but it's more so like Spider-Man got an illness or Iron Man got some kind of lupus. In the midst of all that excitement, you're gonna get, hey, I think I need to go to the doctor tomorrow. You're gonna, and it's real. We got the health messages in there. Gumshee's what Gumshee's like? Gumshee's like, when you was a kid, how your mom or dad used to give you medicine and they have that juice. It tastes nasty, but take this behind it. That's what Gumshee's like. You might say, hey, health, all the health stuff is boring. No, you gonna get the excitement, and you might get the boredom because it's health, but you're gonna forget about it. You're gonna go to the health scene so fast after you just got excited from the fighting and all the animation. You're like, wow, they're the doctor's office. Wow, I'm thinking I need to go get checked out because what's going on in the film on the health side, you're gonna really be like, oh, wow, okay, this really is a health movie. So that's what we want. It's spoon-fed health. You're gonna get that excitement, but you're gonna walk away with a health message.
Well, our last question from the Q&A would be, we're film school, so we don't just do animation. What about voice actors? What about actors? What about, all the other people in this ecosystem? You're looking to work with other people, bring those people into your community as well?
Yes, and I should have said that. We definitely, we want to work with everybody who wants to work with us. We can't pick and choose everybody, but we would be more than willing to, hey, I'm a script writer. Okay, let's see what you got. We want to work with script writers. We want to work with voiceovers, actors, and You know, it might be somebody that's just have a small role in the animation side. We want to work with you too. It's just about being qualified, and we love giving people chances. People have given us chances, like I mentioned. I met with Catherine. You know, so we all about that. We all about giving chances. But if it just doesn't work out, I just just don't give up. Just don't look at us like, okay, well, he said all this, but he won't work with us. you know, we want to work with everybody that we can work with. You know, we just want to make sure that you're qualified and that you want to work with us. And then the expectations is like, no, we're not Disney, but we're not Marvel, but we're some cool people. We got a cool staff. We got great ideas, and we have family type of atmosphere at Small Town and Animation TV. So we're more than welcome to have you if you qualify and you're what we're looking for.
Awesome, awesome. Well, Jermaine, I got one last question for you, which kind of
Yes.
fits in with this idea of like building a successful culture, building a successful vision here. Success comes from having a plan, having a vision. So
Yes.
when we invite you back in 5 years and we're doing this, but this time we do it in person because we got through all this together. Where is Animation TV? Where is Small Town Animation Studios? What is your vision 5 years from now?
5 years from now, animation. Well, let me say, Small Town. First and foremost, we'll probably be 3 or 4. Gumshee's going to be the face of diabetes for sure. I'm speaking that right now. What's today's date? November 23rd.
Yep.
5 years from now, God willing, even if I'm not alive for whatever reason, Gumshee will be the face of diabetes. My daughter would be one of the company for whatever reason. I'm not speaking death, but I'm just saying that 5 years from now, that's what we'll be. We will be like another Marvel because people love Gumshee, but you will be mentioning the other superheroes as well in the lines of Gumshee. So for sure, 5 years from now, animation TV will be sort of like MTV. And I can say that won't take 5 years. That's going to be 2 year max. Animation TV is going to be global. Animation TV is going to be cool. Animation TV is going to be the ones that say, hey, I remember them when they were just talking about Gumshee and the Sunday schoolers. Now they got 50 well-known brands premiering on animation TV. Every month they got a premiere. So I say this humbly. I say this humbly because, we don't look at it the same normal format. So I say this humbly, 5 years from now, we just want to be one of those companies that, hey, they said it. They said what they said and they meant it. Now look at them. Because if you look at old interviews with Tyler Perry, what he said and where he's at now, I'm not being arrogant. I'm saying the same thing he said, but in the way of animation. We're building our own table. We're going to open our own door. If you don't let us in, hey, we're going to come in. You're going to catch us in the hallway, but in the hallway of, hey, this is who we are. Bye. I just want to let you know who we are. I just come here to shake your hand and say, hey, this is who we are. Or they may say, I know who you are. I love your guys' work. Okay, bye anyway, because you're one of the ones that doubted us. So yeah, 5 years from now, we're definitely going to be one of those animation culture companies that's going to have all type of animation spin-offs, whether it's animation talk shows, animation might go to church with animation. It might be an NFT, might be a metaverse of animation. And, I'm just thinking sky's not the limit. It's only a view. So, people say I talk big, but I'm just thinking 5 years from now, that's a long time. You imagine how much stuff we could do in 5 years, how much stuff can be done?
Absolutely. And we're looking forward to be a part of it. So,
oh yeah, we partners. I'm saying it right here for the students.
That's
we're
right.
Partners. I love what you guys are doing over there. That's why we contacted you. I love what you guys are doing at the school and definitely how you align with what we said we want to do for pushing diversity and animation. I appreciate it. I definitely appreciate you guys.
Absolutely, absolutely, and it's a two-way street. So really appreciate your time, Jermaine. Love your passion, love your spirit. It came right through Zoom, and I know everyone who attended here today got a little piece of that, and they can take that with them. That's a great gift. So thank you so much. All the love and blessings and safety and well-being to your friends and family and community over this Thanksgiving. And we look forward to seeing you again super soon.
Yes, thank you. Appreciate everybody.
Good night, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us. Thank you again to Jermaine. Best of luck to everyone there at Small Town Animation Studios. And we'll talk to you all soon. Have a great evening, everybody.